Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna be sunk into the couch for a second.
Motherfucker be sinking or swimming. One of the two.
Damn it.
Okay. So, welcome to episode 21 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. Today, we've got some pretty big things we're going to talk about. We're going to touch on one topic in a minute here for the first little bit, and then the main topic for today is what is VRchat? Is it a game, a social platform? What is it? We'll get to that. But first, big news came out recently of a really big part of the VRchat development team no longer being with VRchat. There was some things that happened with that. There's not a lot we're going to say on that, but it's likely to cause some delays on some things that we were talking about a few episodes ago. The Udon 2 and the persistence that relies on Udon 2. So that's all probably pretty delayed now. Haven't seen any official notes from VRchat yet on what's going to happen with that, if it's going to be delayed or if it's still going to come out in the next couple months like they've been saying. No clue. But
I mean, to be fair, if you read the post from the developer, I'll be honest, I could stand to wait a little bit longer, especially if working on the project you're putting in X amount of hours. I believe, if I remember correctly, you could probably refresh my memory. I believe it's 12 plus hours per day, and even working holidays and actually skipping family events. Now
he was working weekends, holidays, basically had no time off for 2.5 years, asked for some time off and was denied.
They did give him 2 weeks, but he was trying to go for a month or maybe even longer than that.
Yeah, which, I mean, let's be real. If you're working for 2.5 years, barely even taking weekends off, and it's just fair to give them a month off at that point.
I was in my early 20s once, and during that time, I worked my ass off. I was working probably about 60, 65 hours a week, even weekends. I would sleep in the parking lot of my job. I've been there.
It's only fair at that point to give them a month off, or say, hey, yeah, you can take 2 weeks off, and within a week of starting that, we'll figure out if we can handle giving you another 2 weeks off right away, or if that'll have to wait a little bit. Especially like him being the leader.
Employees be burned out.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying, like, even if they had just said, yeah, we can give you 2 weeks now and 2 weeks in a month after this big project is out.
Which, I mean,
that's fair enough. I think you would have gone for that.
Which, I mean, when it comes to and that was one of the biggest things that I got thrown off, because when I was reading the messages, my first thought process was, okay, why would you put in, all right, you're skipping family dates, you're skipping holidays, you know, you're not going to see mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa. You're not seeing any of those people. So how important is this project? And more importantly, is there a deadline that was pushed on you to get this project out? And that's the only real variable here that I can think of, is that they gave them a deadline that was so fucking small, they had no choice but to pour more time and effort into it. Especially if, you know, if it's just them by themselves working on it.
Either a deadline too soon, or a workload too large.
I would agree, yeah. One of the two. It's got to be one of those. I mean,
or a combination.
Yeah, or even a combination. That's the only reason I could see, like, me personally pouring that much effort into getting a project done, is if you got to get it out. Otherwise, you know, it's just like...
Although, I mean, in this case, Originally, it started out as a passion project of his. He wanted to do it for the community, for everyone, and was doing it completely and totally free. And then they got hired on. And when you get hired on because of a project you were working on to continue that project and get paid for it, you still feel a sense of ownership that it's your project, even though it's now being paid for by another company or by another person.
Because it's your project, you feel a larger sense of responsibility to get it done and get it done correctly.
Yeah.
Because now your name's going to be tied to it. And if the company says, if the product doesn't work, the company could simply say, hey, it wasn't us, it was this guy working on it over here.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
anyway,
I'm not beyond putting VRchat past that. That's my opinion. My opinion.
Yeah, that's about all I wanted to say on that topic. If you want more info on that, just go to Twitter. You'll find all sorts of information there.
I do want to ask one last thing before we move. Just your opinion, because I was thinking about this all day. The posts were removed, and I'm wondering, one of two things is possible. Either one, they violated an NDA in their contract, or two, it would be like something similar to a confidentiality clause. Basically don't talk about the dealings behind what goes on in private circles, like within the business. Do you think that there was any NDAs?
There technically doesn't have to be. There's certain circumstances where, unless you actually talk to a lawyer and say, hey, is this information safe to be given out, even if there is no NDA, if you were going to say something bad about the company that you were just fired from, that can be seen as retaliation against the company you were fired from. So it's a big toss-up on what happened there, and no one will know until one of the sides comes out and says.
Yeah, I don't think they would have posted it if they were aware that there was an NDA or something like that. I don't think they would have posted that long thread if they were aware of that.
Yeah, but even if there was an NDA, it doesn't matter, because what was said in there
was on their own private Twitter.
Under an NDA. It doesn't have to fall under an NDA for it to still be not acceptable in some circumstances. So anyway, we're going to move on from there and go on to the main topic for today. Once more info comes out about that, we might touch on it again. But as for now, what is VRchat? I want to go across to everyone in here, give you 30 seconds to just give the five words that would explain what is VRchat, like one sentence. So, circuitry. What is VRchat?
5 words, you say?
5 words, one sentence. Short and sweet.
Okay. 5 words. It is a video game.
Okay.
Social experiment gone wrong.
Come back to that. Vampy?
I would have to echo Sylvie there. Social experiment gone horribly wrong.
See, I think VRchat is much more than a game or a social experiment. My quick sentence for it would be an experience. I only need 2 words to describe what VRchat is to me. So, me and Circuitry, I have a feeling we're gonna have a good conversation here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, trust me, the gears are turning.
To you,
All
it's
right.
just a game. Why is VRchat just a game to you?
Okay, so again, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago, so for those of you who didn't see that episode, I'd recommend going and watching it in full. I think the original experience is actually really good, so please go back and watch that episode. I believe it was episode 19, if I'm correct?
Yeah.
So yes, episode 19, go back and watch that. Me and him had a really good back and forth, but I would say the foundation of VRchat in and of itself, let's say if we're building a house, All right. Obviously, if you're building a house, you need a foundation. Otherwise, your house sinks into the ground, right? The foundation of VRchat, in and of itself, is video game, because it boots like a video game. You have a loading screen. You have loading screens whenever you're changing levels, when you're switching. It just flows like a video game. Now, wait, hold up. But when it comes to the upper part, when it comes to the walls, the windows, the roof, the doors, you talk about the kitchen, the bedroom, whatever you want to add to your house, it's all a social interactive simulator. It's all a social interactive simulator, and there's going to be people in different rooms. You're going to have different experiences in different bedrooms, different parts of the house, even the basement, if you have one. John Wayne Gacy talking to you. But that's essentially what VRchat is to me. I can't go beyond a social interactive simulator because, really, you have to look at video games in this perspective, okay? What is a book? Turtle, let me ask you that. What is a book?
A book, in general terms, a book is a collection of information in paper form, or, well, at this point, you can have ebooks, so a book is a collection of information or a story.
Okay, so let me ask you this. A book, to me, is a linear path, is a story that has a linear path from beginning to end. It's already pre-written, just like a single player game would be pre-written,
then
just like Doom.
Would you consider the encyclopedia a book?
I would consider it by technical terms, it is a book. By foundational terms. Okay. Because a book has pages.
So you're talking foundation. You're talking foundation, and then saying that it goes linearly. An encyclopedia is not a linear story. It's not a start to finish. It is a collection of information.
But now, the reason I bring that up is because now let's look at a book, let's say a Choose Your Own Adventure, where you flip pages, go to 59, go to 28, go to 74, go to 13. If you choose your own adventure, you basically, then that's an interactive book. Is it still a book at that point? Is the basis of it still a book? Okay.
But now VRchat being a game because of the foundation of it. That's like saying a warehouse is also a house. Or a factory is also a house. Because they all have the same foundation. They're all built on a foundation.
Is a house
the foundation changes? Yeah, all of those are buildings, but they're not houses.
What's the difference between a house and a building?
And then one is made for one purpose, and a building is made for a purpose, and that just defines what type of building it is. Just like VRchat is made for a purpose, that defines what type of program it is. I have seen many things that would never be classified as a game written in the Unity engine. I've made some myself. They could never be classified as a game. So the engine, the base of the system, doesn't necessarily make what it is. Like, let's take the building I am in right now, for instance, my duplex, my house. It was originally built as a storage shed. It was renovated into 2 business suites. And then it was re-renovated into 2 apartments. Does that mean it's still a warehouse shed because that's what it was first made? That's the base of it? Don't think so. It's evolved, it's changed over time. So VRchat started out as a game. At the very, very start, it was a game. And I guarantee all of the developers that worked on VRchat, all of the staff members of it, would agree. But the vision of it and what it has evolved into has changed so drastically that VRchat is no longer a game. It is an experience, a platform to give experiences.
See, that's where you said that your house was originally a shed, correct?
Yes.
So, could you tell me the difference between, could you tell me the difference between single player and multiplayer?
Single player, you're by yourself. Multiplayer, you're with other people.
Okay, now can you tell me the difference between multiplayer and this experience that you're talking about? Can you separate multiplayer?
You can have an experience
this?
entirely on yourself by yourself in VRchat. You can have that experience. You can experience things. You can have an experience entirely on your own. There are apps specifically made in VRchat that are 100% locked down to just one person being able to enter the room, because it was made to be an experience for one person. So whether VRchat is multiplayer or single player, and how that could be classified either way, makes no difference in what VRchat is. Because VRchat works in both. The experience idea works in both cases.
See, the problem is that the term experience, meaning that you're going in... Now, here's the thing. I agree with you that every time you go into VRchat, everyone's going to have an entirely different experience because of the areas or even, you know, the events that are going on that particular point in time. You're talking about a moment in time that cannot be replicated at all in any capacity.
Not even the time. So when I say VRchat is an experience, let's compare that to in real life. If you go to an escape room, you're going there for an experience. You're experiencing something you would never normally experience. And that's what I mean by saying VRchat is a platform for experiences.
Okay, so
every world you go to, every room, every group, it's a different experience.
Okay, I have to really pull back what I was going to say before, because it sounded to me like when you say experience, I'm like, oh my god, am I watching Apollo launch from the pad in the 1960s? Like, that's what I thought you were putting this on the level of, is just like, I'm watching the moon landing.
A thing, not an as an activity, not necessarily you experiencing it. It's hard to explain. I don't even know the correct definition that I'm going for there, but there's another definition to experience.
I mean, I'll search the archives, but, my brain only works at a certain speed. I'm 37. Throw me a bone here.
Maybe like an epiphany.
I was
or
literally
like
just
that?
listening to this song earlier.
No, an epiphany is like it's like an immediate, an idea. Like you came to an absolute resolution, like right off the bat, like something.
Okay, here's the definition. I just looked it up. So the experience that I'm explaining is a verb, but you're thinking it was a noun. So noun, practical contact with and observation of facts or events. That's what you were thinking. What I was explaining it as is an encounter.
Okay, all right. Well, it didn't sound. You were using it in sentences as if it was a noun. Like it was like an experience.
Well,
in and of itself.
You experience an experience. So you noun experience, and
you're using it in the definitional
experience.
term of like a verb.
I'm using
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you have to use both to explain it. So that's
semantic
I
conversation
love the
about
English language. Yeah,
dude, you're experiencing experience. Hey guys, I went to see the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and I experienced an experience of the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Yes, I understand. It makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah. So I don't. So any game you play is in itself an experience. It's an encounter. It's whatever you want to call it. But it's also a game. Whereas a social interaction is an experience or an encounter in the same way as everything in VRchat. It's different than a game in that sense.
Like I say, I don't. All right, my experience from what I see, if we're talking about point of view.
Can we get an experience counter, please?
Yeah.
Please do. I want to take a drink every time you hear the term experience, and then put in the comments.
Drinking game. Let me.
Every time we say the word. Just please, for the love of God, don't put it.
it's
Just
sort of
don't
like,
type it in the comments. It's just like God.
This isn't gonna end
Oh,
well.
I think I
Please.
get where
Please.
Turtle's coming from for how he's trying to describe VRchat. It's like, for me, it's like Helldivers 2. Yes, it can be a game, but it's an experience. Because
Yeah,
it's something unique.
Yeah, VRchat is. It's not unique in a sense. It's meant to mimic reality in a way, but in a way that is an experience. Just like an escape room is meant to mimic reality in a way that you are locked in a room and trying to escape it.
Yeah.
It mimics something, but
Wait.
that
Could you
doesn't make it a simulation.
Could you repeat that one more time?
That VRchat is made to mimic reality in a way, but not directly.
No, before that. I'm
Is that
sorry,
what
you skipped.
Or, fuck, I don't remember.
It's only been 15 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
No, you said something along the lines of it's meant to be an escape from reality.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah. It's a what the fuck was the words I was using? Shit. Got me confused
You
here, man.
experienced something to escape reality and something to that capacity.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
So
couldn't
VRchat
think
is
of a-
made to mimic reality, but as a way of escaping reality in the same sense.
I just don't want it to be a substitute for reality. That's what I don't want.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think VRchat is a simulation, because a simulation
I
is like
want it to be a
something
simulation. I don't want it to be real. Because the more real it is, the more sick people are just never going to leave it. It's going to cause more problems than good.
Then in that sense, every game should be a simulation. Because
Well, you just said the purpose of it is an
everything.
escape from reality. I couldn't think of a better definition for a movie, a TV show, a video game,
all
a
games.
book, even
everything.
listening to music. Everything is an escape
an
from
escape
reality,
from-
dude. I listen to music because I don't want to listen to what's on the news. I watch TV shows so I avoid what's going on outside the world.
Yeah,
I
but
play video games because I
so-
don't want to look on Twitter.
let's pause for a second because Stealth wasn't here right away. Stealth,
No, I wasn't.
one
What I missed.
sentence, maybe 5 words to describe what VRchat is.
I gotta pee real quick.
A chaotic time.
No, like, is it a game? Is it a social platform? Or
Oh,
what?
Then
What
social
is
platform with
VRchat?
extra steps.
Okay, that's what I believe as well. It is a social platform experience. So, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, those are social platforms. They're not an experience. You don't go there to have an experience. You go there to
Metaverse
just
had its
go
way.
to a social platform. Well, that's what I'm saying. VRchat is the social platform experience because you physically, you are here. You're in it. You are directly experiencing the interaction. I really need that counter so badly. I'm sorry. If anyone's actually drinking every time I say experience, well, experience.
First of all, second
That's
of all,
why
go
I
get your fucking
stopped.
stomachs pumped.
Anyway, yeah. So I really think VRchat is much more than a game. It's built on a game platform, but so are millions of other pieces of software that no one in their right mind would ever label as a game. Like, would you consider a calculator a game?
I wish.
I mean, you
but
can't
no.
type boobs in it.
Oh my god.
That's a
So,
gag.
a calculator.
That's different.
A calculator is not a game in the same sense that VRChat's not a game. VRChat contains games, but it itself, I don't consider a game.
Yeah.
Like, you'll talk about it in the sense that it's a game. Like, hey, are you going to be playing VRChat tonight? Because you press
the
play
most
in
basic
Steam. That's just the
terms
colloquial
of-
term.
OVR, what are you doing? As I was saying, it's like, in the most basic terms, I'd say VRChat is a game like Facebook is a website. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess. But more,
Okay,
like, I don't want to
sorry, OVR
call
decided
VRChat
to,
a
like-
game. because there are games
So-
within VRchat. VRchat itself is just the platform in the end, just like your browser is
Okay.
the platform for the websites, or the website is the platform for the social media platform.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to
It's
ask
just
you,
the-
what
it's
about
the
the people
same.
that only use this as a game? The people who only go into game worlds, but you just said it pretty
That's
much.
fine,
Exactly.
because VRchat is because
Yeah.
VRchat is still
That's it.
not a game. It has games within it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Like the
about to
heart of
bring that up until you
VRchat to
explained it.
me has always been a social platform.
Yeah, I would never, like, if someone asks me what is VRchat, I'm not going to say it's a game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a social platform experience. That is literally the only way I can ever describe it. Because those 5 words, social platform experience, those 3 words, that is 3 words, not 5.
Yeah,
A
I use
social
3 words,
platform
not you.
experience. That right there describes VRchat, I believe, better than any other set of words that you can come up with. It's short, sweet, to the point, and gets right down to what VRchat is to a majority of its users. Like,
Yeah.
Vampy,
Hmm?
VRchat, is it a social platform experience?
Sorry, my dog wouldn't come back in.
I
So,
mean,
what you missed, quick,
Look-
just pause. We were
Sorry,
talking
Vampy.
about, I was saying how I believe VRchat is a social platform experience more than anything, because those 3 words, when put together, describe VRchat better than anything else. It's just like social
I can
platforms
beat that.
having games on them.
I can beat that 100%. I don't believe
Okay.
it's. If you want to call it an experience, that's fine. I guess we're looking at it from a different perspective. Like, my perspective is 3 words: social, interactive, simulator. That is what VRchat is. Like, at its
But
top, at the very top.
But how
the
does
one
that
thing I don't
simulator
want
part come in?
Because that's what it is. You're simulating social interactivity with people.
So-
You're interacting with people online,
So
and so
would-
therefore you're being social online.
But would you consider then World of Warcraft a simulation?
No, I would consider it a video game.
Okay, why are you considering VRchat and social interactions a simulation then?
Because the context of the 2 are completely different. We're talking about one that is actually that has a linear path, and the other one doesn't.
But does it
I'd have
actually?
to disagree there, because in World of Warcraft, you don't have to go straight down a single path. You can take multiple paths to go to one place at any time. So that's. the
I would
issue
say
I've got with
World of
that.
Warcraft is closer to a simulation than VRchat is.
I
Because
think VRchat is closer to a simulator. When I say simulator, it's simulating social interactivity, whereas World of Warcraft
But
is
it's not
simulating
simulating
something
it.
entirely different.
it is
None
not
of you are
simulating. VRchat is not simulating social activity. It is allowing it. That would be exactly like saying Facebook, Twitter, they simulate social activity. They don't. It is actual social interaction. It's not a simulation of social
Yeah, but
interaction.
I would never compare VRchat to platforms like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Yeah, because VRchat,
I-
ironically, is better than
I
those
would
2.
have. To
I don't believe it
because-
operates that way. I don't believe it
Well-
operates the same way.
Well, let's
So,
put it like
okay,
this.
think of this for a second. Facebook, MySpace, both of them, when they first came out, pretty quick after they came out, they had games on the platform. They weren't a gaming platform, they were a social platform that happened to have games. VRchat, when it first came out, it didn't have game worlds. It just had worlds. Now there's game worlds.
You're reminding me of Farmville, and I fucking hate you.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. So how then does VRchat become a simulation based on that?
Because-
I'm
Okay, I'll use Twitter as an example. Twitter, in and of itself, is I consider it a town square. Like, where we can all come together, we can actually share opinions, and with people that we don't
Which-
actually know. Whereas VRchat has limitations to what you can do in terms of that exact same thing. You can't do it to more than 20 or 40 people at a time, whereas Twitter can do it to thousands of people at a time. Right? There's a big distinction between VRchat and Twitter. You know,
but I can go from here
VRchat will
talking
never
to you
be
guys.
the town's. VRchat would never. Well, because we're in an enclosed town square right now. It's just the 5 of us talking right now.
Yeah, but I can go
Sure,
from
we're
here. I
being
can go to
streamed on
another world,
Twitch.
talk
That's
to
another.
talk to
that's
40
another
people
example
there.
of a town square.
bounce to another room, talk to another 40 people there. So, and really, VRchat is trying to expand so that there's not such a low limit. You can have 80 people in a world right now.
I know, but it also
was
depends on the
like 50.
It depends on the specs. That it also comes down to the specs and hardware. If you're willing to pour hundreds,
But
if not
still,
thousands of dollars
so
to actually be able to manage that.
That doesn't make VRchat a simulation in itself. Just because it's only a select handful of people per world.
Well, I'm saying that it's not comparable to other social media platforms. Like you say, it's a social platform. When I think social platform, I think Twitter, I think Facebook, I think Instagram, I think YouTube, Twitch, Rumble.
So what do all of those have in common? They are a platform for socializing. They are a platform for talking to people. What is VRchat at its core? A platform for talking.
VRchat at its core is a video game, but the problem is that it doesn't have the exact same capacity and rate that these other platforms do because they don't have the exact fundamentals to actually make that. That's
and I
saying.
guess in your sense, Facebook is not a social platform.
I think it is. I mean, if you share a story on Facebook, it'll get shared.
But if I post something
on
on Facebook, only the 40, 50 friends that I have ever see it.
Well, those 40 or 50 friends share with their friends, and then those friends share it, and then those friends share it, and then those friends share it, and then those friends share it. It spreads.
How is that different than VRchat? And me telling you a story, you going to the next room and telling that story to someone else, and it's spreading. I've literally told stories and had them come right back around to me months later. It was stuff about Cobra specifically, so that's kind of funny. But
I would say I would say that the difference is because you're talking about on Twitter and Facebook, those are posts, whereas you're talking about word of mouth. And there's never a guarantee that information will spread by word of mouth, but you can be guaranteed that if you post something like a flyer or something like that, this goes back to old school.
You can't.
You have to understand.
You cannot guarantee that something written down is going to be understood the same way by every person that reads it.
It also depends on how much you post. I mean, think about this. Metallica, I mean, they were on the Sunset Strip just putting flyers on every fucking car hood that they could find. And they eventually became one of the biggest metal bands in the world.
Because they never shut up.
It's all about persistence.
How does all of this tie back to VRchat being a simulation?
It ties back to a simulation, for me at least, because I don't want it to be more than that. If it's more than that, then I feel like it's going to be a very...
Really want me to snooze the ad break?
I got you right there. No. I got you right there. So, you don't want it to be.
Personally, no.
You don't
when I play
want
video
it to be
games,
more than a
when I play video games, I expect it to be an escape from reality, not an embracing of another reality. That is the purpose of a video game. That's the purpose of books, movies, television. That's why I brought all that up.
Every game and every book, every one of those is an escape from regular reality and an entrance to another reality. When you talk about the Marvel Universe, you're talking about the reality around the Marvel Universe. Right? It's the same idea.
I know, but you also have to understand.
You're making that distinction solely based on VRchat having real people versus those experiences, those things.
Not quite the distinction we're looking for.
Having
but good thinking.
Fake people.
I know, but it's scary to think that first off, it's scarier that it's real people who are experiencing this, not fictional characters. So that's the real difference for me.
I think we've gotten down to why you think VRchat is a simulation and a game. It's because you don't want it to be more than that. You don't want VRchat to be a social experience, a social platform. You don't want it to be the new location. You want it to just be a game. But
that everybody enjoys, then it's an escape from regular day, everyday problems. That's what I want, yes.
But solely because you want it to be that? doesn't make.
I mean,
it
I'm
that.
not the only one. There's probably a demographic out there that I haven't found yet. I'm probably not the only person who
But
said this
even
publicly.
no matter what, whatever people say they want something to be, that doesn't immediately make it true. That's never.
No, I never said it was true. I'm telling you what I think. Personally, what I feel it
You're
should be.
saying what you think VRchat should be. I'm asking what is VRchat. Those are two different questions. What VRchat should be is different than what it is.
I'm just telling you what I think VRchat is, and I'm not going any further than that. Like I say,
But you've already gone back on it and said that you want it to be that. You think of it as that because you want it to be that.
well, because I
Which
don't
is
want
a-
because there are people on this game that have exploited VRchat for much more than that. I think of it now. To me, it's no longer a game where you come on and meet friends. It's either you're making content, it's either you're doing the sucky fucky in a back room, or you're drinking with. It's just gotten so fucking disgusting. To
I
me.
still,
like,
to this
it used
day,
to be it
go
used to be about
to-
camaraderie, and now it's no longer about camaraderie. It has absolutely been bastardized in just the last few years since COVID.
It has partially, but
And that's
there
really
are
one reason
still,
why I've had my opinion on that.
there are still a lot of worlds. Like if you go to a public Black Cat, first one you go to might be pretty shit. It's going to be full of a bunch of kids. Go to the next one. I have gone and had some very, very good interactions with people and made really good friends that I'm still talking to now. Years later.
How many worlds do you have to jump before you get no kids at all?
That's impossible. Just like walking outside, you're not going to go outside and get no kids at all. Are you?
No, I won't.
I know,
Exactly.
but here's the thing:
you
if
walk
I'm on,
outside,
if I'm on
there's
Twitter
gonna
and
be
I see
kids
a
around.
12-year-old, I just block him.
and you do the same thing in VRchat, right?
No, I don't. I leave.
That's your choice. I just block them. I don't leave the world solely because there's a kid there.
Well, because the kid didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I'm not
You know
gonna block
what?
someone for that.
Someone in the chat just gave a very, very good. It's Titan just gave a very, very good comment here. It's like Facebook and Twitter, but for the internet society. Facebook and Twitter are the social platforms for the outside people, and VRchat, in that point, would be the social platform for the people within VRchat. There's always
am I
going to
hearing
be
you
people
twice?
that go on Twitter and Facebook and that hate them. You might have world audio on.
Oh no, it unmuted on my browser. Why did it?
Oh,
Sometimes it unmutes after an ad. I have the same problem sometimes.
I just have my
I'm sorry
chat
about that.
itself muted.
I don't want to buy a Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off.
But you will eventually.
pennies.
Give me your money.
Trick-or-treat, I
Give
thought
me
I
your
wasn't
money.
gonna buy a
I'm a
Chevy,
corporate
right?
entity.
I
Give
thought
me
I wasn't
money.
gonna buy a Chevy either. Guess what's sitting in my fucking parking lot? A 2015
Does
Chevy.
do any of you have more input on VRchat being a simulation? Because that seems to be what we're focusing on right now.
No, but I want to change what I think VRchat is.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
It is a 90s chat room where every world is a different chat room.
Oh, sort of
Ooh.
like IMVU.
People who, maybe.
VRchat's
I mean,
3D IMVU. That's it. We figured it out. 3D IMVU.
Well,
So you're
Well,
talking,
no,
you're
no,
talking
no,
about
leaving it
this
at
is a
that.
more
We did not
advanced
crack
this
a
is a
fucking
more
code with
advanced
IMVU.
version of
Yes, we did.
AOL online.
yes, bro. it's
I'll
like
take
a-
AOL, but not IMVU.
No. IMVU.
I don't
because
remember.
It became just as
Well,
perverted.
no, because
as
I
this
can
is
imagine
right
Turtle
now.
walking up to someone and going, "Hey, ASL."
Oh my god.
You know
Wait,
what?
I
I need to
didn't
bring that
know.
back. We need to bring that back. We gotta walk in the world and be like, hey, ASO.
Oh my fucking god. No.
We gotta bring it back.
I'll be
IMVU.
here to put out the fire you fucking start.
There was just as much
Hashtag
perversion as
ASL.
is in this.
I'm going to
Yeah.
change my name to Netscape.
Oh my.
Netscape Navigator. Oh boy. That's so 90s of you.
I know. Hey, it was the first browser I ever used
I
as a
think
kid.
Stealth has that one.
Yes. Okay, so Circuitry is Netscape. Stealth is Firefox.
Why?
One of
Why?
us is Edge, one of us is Internet Explorer, and one of us is Chrome.
I'm AOL
I'm
Online.
going
What are you
Chrome.
talking
I'm
about?
Opera GX.
Okay, you're Chrome.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you're up.
Well, I'm using
Okay, well,
Opera
I'm
Not a
right now,
sponsor.
so-
Not a sponsor. Just putting that
No,
out there.
it's
Not
not
sponsored.
sponsored.
Not a sponsor.
Opera pay
Always
me.
open to sponsorships, though.
I did
I'm
like
sorry, I'm
Firefox.
old
The
enough
day
to
we
be
get
AOL Online,
sponsored, I don't
just
know what
so
we're gonna
everyone
do with
knows.
ourselves.
Yeah. The day we get sponsored, what are we gonna end up doing? That's
I
Oh,
feel
I
like
know
we're
what I'm gonna
lose
do.
that
I'm gonna wish
sponsor
I
the
was
day
getting
we
that.
get it.
Dude, I remember the
well,
day
that's
my
actually-
dad upgraded our PC from Windows 93 to Windows 95. I remember that day it happened.
God,
It's
what did I have?
actually
Windows 98 to
Kind of
Windows
funny that
XP.
you guys say that.
Oh boy.
oh.
Sobe, where's that link? Let's
Oh
What
no!
fucking
Did we seriously
No.
get
Where's
one
that
and
link?
not know?
I
What link?
clicked a button. I was looking into something and found out I can totally do this thing. So I did this thing, and now if you want to help out and support and get good food and shit, there's a link.
Okay.
You're
Oh,
shit
that
at
fuck-
me.
oh,
Yeah.
I have to open this now. I have to open this.
oh my fucking god! I forgot about that link.
So
Okay, let's see.
yeah,
What's this
click
link?
the link. It'll be in the description too.
Okay, what is this?
I've heard a lot
I
of good
have to do
things
it.
about that food actually, and I'm
Oh,
probably
Factor?
going to yeah.
Yeah, Factor is
I've heard
ready-made
a
meals. I mean,
lot of good things about it.
like
It's
2 minute.
It's like HelloFresh, but pre-made.
But
and
here's the thing:
ready to
it's
go.
just like their TV dinners.
Exclusive influencer offer. I love it.
Turtle, do the plug. Don't mention HelloFresh.
I did the plug.
Plug
Mention
harder.
HelloFresh in the plug.
Yeah.
Oh, Titan wants to rename VRchat to the Matrix.
The Matrix. I'll pass. Look,
Anyway.
I know we already live in a simulation.
I
Let's
can't
not
do an
push the
ad. I can't do an
envelope.
ad read if we're not sponsored. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we were
otherwise we'd
sponsored,
be
then
violating
I'd be more than
YouTube
willing.
guidelines on that one. We'd have to put hashtag ad, and that would actually hurt Turtle. So I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
All right, back to simulation.
How much I know.
Okay, first off, let's start
Back
there.
to the conversation.
What is the definition of a simulation? Let's see. Google Senpai.
What?
Did you just call Google Senpai?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm
right.
glad that
So
wasn't
okay,
me.
hold on.
Okay, so
Before you
here's-
say anything about the definition of it, let me say this. I will agree that games within VRchat. So if you go to like a horror map or an escape room in VRchat, that is simulation. That is a simulation of whatever that is. That I
Okay,
will agree on.
so, okay, the term simulation is a noun, imitation of situation or process, simulation of blood flowing through the arteries and veins,
Yep.
the action of pretending, underscore, or a semicolon, excuse me, deception, clever simulation that's good enough to trick you. And finally, the production of a computer model of something, especially for the purpose of study. The method was tested by computer simulation. By definition.
Yeah. So with that, that would then be exactly what I just said. VRChat as a whole is not a simulation,
Okay.
but there are certain experiences within VRChat that would be considered a simulation.
I know, but the thing is that there are people in this game that pretend that it is real. So would that not be the act of
That's
pretending it is a
because-
simulation?
No, VRChat. I don't think there's anyone that
There are
pretends
people that
VRChat
sleep in
is
this game, they
actually
fuck in
real.
this game, they dance in this game, they think it's real.
But are they pretending that VRChat is real, or are they just
They
utilizing
are
what
pretending.
is
I
there?
believe, yes, 100%. I believe that they think that
I-
it is a. It
I
is
have never,
more- They're embracing.
I have
this
never met
game
someone that
more.
considers VRChat more real than real life, or
There
even
is a
considers it to
lot
be
of
close to real life.
I do have somebody on my friends list that never logs out. They're
Well,
always
they
they're
obviously-
perpetually in VR chat.
See, there's a few people
When
that
do
I
they
have that are
ship?
like that, but they're on desktop working on things, doing stuff outside, whatever. But they're still
Yeah,
logged
and
into
sometimes-
VRchat. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are pretending VRchat real. And
I
no
guess
one
that's fair,
pretends
yeah.
that a simulator is real. No one pretends that Car Mechanic Simulator is a real thing. No one pretends that Mowing Simulator is a real thing. No one pretends that House Flipper is a real thing. They are simulators for a reason.
Go too
No
long
one,
this
no
whole
one
time?
pretends that Farming Simulator is real farming. There are a few people that do that for content purposes, but the general populace does not consider it real farming. They consider it a simulated farming.
Bro, there's a
VRchat,
big difference
but-
between virtual reality and playing on desktop. All right, I don't look at Apex Legends and go, "Oh, I'm really going to die if I actually play with these two people that have no idea how the fucking trigger works."
No one in VRchat thinks they're gonna die if they get shot in a
No,
game in VRchat. Not a single person.
no, but at the same time, I'm saying that the endorphins are running on a different pattern in the brain than if
But
you
that-
were actually just playing with a mouse and keyboard. You understand?
But does that make VRchat as a whole a simulation?
Okay, let me put it this way. All right, I'm gonna use Have you ever played Counter-Strike?
Not really. I don't play shooters.
All right,
You can't. But you can now. It's free.
I'll use Counter-Strike as an example. So let's say you're just at home, you're playing a casual game of Counter-Strike. Is there more but there's an entirely different scenario. I'm gonna give you two different scenarios. One scenario, you're at home playing Counter-Strike on your own time, just fucking around, just trying to kill people, trying to get kills and stuff like that. And then now let's put you on like a main stage with 4 other pro players where $1 million prize is on the line and you're in the finals. Which situation do you think is going to be more stressful for you? Is it going to be you casually
esports.
playing at home,
So,
or is it going to be you competing for $1 million?
For a simulation, it doesn't require the stress. Like to be a
I'm
simulation,
asking
you're
you a
not
question.
stressing in the same way. So I don't get where this is even going, because the
Trust
answer
me,
that you're looking for is obvious, but it's not going to go. It's not going to make a difference because we're still talking about VRchat. Is it a simulation or does it contain
No,
simulations?
the reason I bring that up is because it's the same thing between playing on desktop and playing in VR. When you play in VR, I believe that things are a lot more. It feels more real, like you're more in. Like when you put the headset on, a lot of people don't know this, some do, but when you put the headset on, it's like you're immediately like the entire rest of the world is cut off. Your ears are covered, your eyes are covered. You cannot see your own bedroom, and you're completely embraced in whatever world that you're in right there. All right, I realize that the floor that I'm standing on when I'm in VR, it's not real. I realize that the walls aren't real. I realize that the windows aren't real. I realize that the furniture ain't real.
But how does that make
But
it a
there are
simulation?
people in this game. But there are people in this
and
game
how does that make people?
think it's real. They want it to be real because
I-
they can't embrace reality
Okay,
outside of the headset.
Wanting something to be real versus thinking it is real, again, two completely different things. Wanting it to be real. I would love for VRchat to be real. Be able to walk through a fucking portal,
Not
open
me.
a menu, and
How
teleport
you
to
liking
friends.
the debate, chat?
I would love that. But
Mhm.
I know that's not it. That's not how it is. I want it. I don't think it is that way. I don't think real life is that. That doesn't make sense.
I'm not saying that you
And there's
do.
no
I'm
one-
saying there are people in this game that do that do think it is real or want it to be real. I'm talking about that.
So,
and that's really where my crux of my argument. That's where the crux of my argument is, dude. I don't want this game to be treated as real because treating it as real is incredibly dangerous to those who absolutely can't embrace real life.
Okay. Outside of an RP situation, give me
I don't want to
someone.
name
Introduce
names.
me to
I don't
one.
want to name names.
I don't want you to name names, but I want you to introduce me to someone off podcast. I want you to introduce me to one person that considers VRchat real,
I would, but they
completely
blocked
and
me.
totally real. Convenient.
I'm not kidding. When I say, I
Zorba,
mean,
trust me, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I
That's how
wouldn't
this is
say
feeling.
it
Sorry,
blocked me. No,
circuitry,
this
but
was somebody who
that's
was
the kind of
suffering from
energy it
very
gave.
severe anxiety, and they come into this
So-
game, and I'm like, well, are you doing anything to fix it IRL? And they say, no. I mean, I'm not seeing a therapist or anything like that. I think you should see a therapist. And they say, no, this game is a good enough supplement for me. That's what I don't want.
It's not.
I don't want
So-
this game to be an absolute, like,
That in itself does not mean that they consider VRchat real. They consider it an escape from the real life.
I know, but at the
And
same
that
time,
is
it just-
exactly what you just
that's-
labeled it as.
I don't want it to be that. That's what I don't want it to be.
But hold on. Let's backtrack 10, 20 minutes here. You don't want VRchat to be an escape from real life, yet you believe all games are an escape from real life.
I said escape from that moment in time.
Yeah. And VRchat is not an escape from real life when you're not in VRchat.
I mean, dude, did you go to a concert recently? Concert or?
I've been to a few. Been to festivals, been to all sorts of things.
Why do you go to concerts?
For the experience.
I mean, do you leave all your problems at the door? Or are you thinking about paying your taxes while you're listening to some badass band on stage
fuck no.
just ripping air? Yeah, that's the
No,
whole point
I mean-
of a. That's the whole point of a
See,
video
that's
game.
why I
too.
don't go to concerts. I can't push
So-
that shit out of my head.
So in that sense, VRchat as the social platform, like, do you go on Facebook? Like, do you go on Twitter to escape from
No,
things?
if anything, I get
or-
more stressed when I'm on Twitter. Are you kidding me? That's why I have more
Yeah.
gray than you'll ever have.
Well,
So,
You might
and
get
to
10
be
again,
million,
you're-
we'll see about
I
that.
do have to say, to a certain extent, games are an escape. So, I mean, what Stealth,
Everything. Like,
not Stealth, Circuitry was saying, that is true. Like, you can use VRChat as an escape. It's not healthy, but it's still an escape.
but we're also talking here about people considering VRchat as real. Like thinking the floor
yeah, no,
below
I'm
them
out of
is
that conversation.
actually there and actually real.
You know,
I don't
feel
think there's
I feel
anyone. I don't
feel
think there's
greedy at
anyone
this
that does
point,
not
so I
have
wanna
a
hear from
very,
Stealth
very
I want to
big.
hear from Stealth or Vampy. I want to hear from them because you and I have held the floor for quite a while.
Oh no, this is
I knew this
entertaining.
would happen on this episode.
What am I, just
so
a prop?
anyway, This-
No, you just talked.
that big
Unless you want
big
to talk
key
more,
that you brought
you
up.
got more to say.
So
I'm fine.
that big key that you brought up just a bit ago about you knowing people consider VRchat real and think the floor below them in VR is actually the real floor.
Well,
I don't believe that.
That's-
I don't believe
that's
there is
not what
anyone
I
in
s-
VRchat that
if I
actually
said
that is
that,
what
then
you said.
if I said that I misspoke, I apologize. They want it to be real to the point where reality for them
And-
is absolutely more fucking sad than this game,
There
than
we
this
go.
reality is. That's
There we
more
go.
of an
See,
accurate answer.
You were mixing
Whereas-
up considering it like them wanting it to be real and them thinking it is real. You were mixing
All
those
right,
two up and
if I
using
did,
them
if I did mix it up,
so
then I
that's-
apologize. That was a misspeak on my part. I was trying to explain it. Here's the thing: you were trying to explain it as an experience, but the problem is that I'm also trying to explain it in two definitions: the noun and the fucking verb at the same time.
We never did get that counter set up, did we?
No, we didn't.
Oh, I'm taking a drink for that.
I've been drinking every time I heard it.
I just got back. I'm stone cold sober.
Hey, those of you
I
still
really-
watching, tell me in the comments how many drinks have you taken so far?
Yeah,
I
let us
would
know in
love
the
to
How
know.
many
comments. We'll tally.
times? How many times
This
have we said experience? You know what? After a week of this episode being on YouTube, I will give $10 to the closest person.
You're-
So spend your time wisely
So-
if you want $10.
And do
Easy.
not, for the love of God, do not get yourself alcohol poisoning over 10 cents. It is not worth it.
Dude,
So-
the dime's not worth it. Just don't drink.
So has anyone here changed their mind on what VRchat is? We're talking what it is, not what you want it to be. Those are two different
Fair
things.
enough.
But still, has your idea of what VRchat is changed during this conversation?
Well, for my unprofessional opinion, being a chaotic mess, no, that hasn't changed.
Okay, but
As far as being a social media platform with extra steps, only a little, because there's not like bulletin boards yet. There's no like statuses that people immediately see unless you actually click on their profile. Stuff like that.
There's no bulletin boards. Go look at groups.
Groups doesn't count. I'm talking personal bulletins.
Notifications from groups.
That still doesn't count.
Then what is a
like,
bulletin?
You can go to an account and look through the... OVR, will you stop? Like, you go to an account, not a group, not like a community page, your own personal account. There's no bulletin for that.
What would be on this bulletin, though?
Stuff like the kind of stuff you post on Facebook or Twitter. X.
Like,
Okay, so
you
it's...
take in the things you take like pictures of in the game, I'd say.
See, that would actually
like
be
that.
really cool. That would be a cool feature for VRchat, allowing you to share pictures and just have a feed of your own that you can post to, share pictures and whatever, and people can follow your
I
feed.
get where
That would be
somebody's
cool.
coming from, because there isn't enough of that. If there was, it could probably help the distinction between a game and a social platform.
Yeah, I mean, VRchat's a social platform in a different way than the text-based social platforms are. It's a social platform in the sense of what was TeamSpeak back in the day. TeamSpeak was a chat app. What is Discord? Discord is a social platform. Would you consider Discord a social platform?
That depends on where you go. These days, I think it's mostly used by other kind of people. Like the people that, what you were saying before, would treat VRchat like reality.
Yeah. So, man, VRchat. I don't know. Okay, Vampy. Let's move on. Vampy.
To sum it up in one sentence, VRchat needs to pick a lane.
Yeah, I would say it is somewhat ambiguous, but my personal feeling on what it is and where it's moving to, what it is currently and where it's moving to, is the 3D version of a 2D social platform.
Right, but it's still swerving.
It's
gotta correct.
It's primarily in voice, and it's a reversal of most social platforms where you go to Twitter, you go to Facebook, and you post and people interact with you. It's more of you subscribe to a group that posts and interact with that group and other people in it.
Still.
So
that's where my point
Vampy,
rests.
has your idea of what VRchat is changed?
Not too much. As I said before, this is basically like an upgraded IMVU to me, because it's experiencing the same things that IMVU went through.
Vampy,
Invasion.
will you play IMVU
people.
with me?
Hold on, Sal. We'll get to you. Don't worry.
I don't even have my old account. I'd have to
I guarantee
go
I can
brand
get mine back. Vampy, we gotta play
I'd
IMVU
want mine
together.
back. What are we gonna fucking do? It's just
I
a
don't
simpler
know,
version of
but
VRchat.
we're gonna play IMVU someday.
No. Fuck IMVU. Just
Maybe
go
after
find
my
like
new
a private server version of Club Penguin. Same experience.
So I have a funny story about IMVU. Since we're on that real quick, my sister, when I was like 10, my sister was on IMVU. She was like 13, 14 maybe.
Ooh.
She was on IMVU. She walks into a room and has the message typed out, "Do chickens have teeth?" And this guy next to her, right before she hit enter, says, "Will you go out with me?" She hits enter. "Do chickens have teeth?"
Damn, she had that one
That's a hell of a
on
rejection. That's one hell of a rejection.
Yeah. I got a message her about
She
that.
fucking knew.
You know what? At some point we should have a discussion about IMVU and that.
We
situation.
will. Other, like the predecessors to VRchat. We'll talk about that sometime.
Second Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, has your idea of what VRchat is currently changed at all, Toby?
No.
It's still just
I
a
believe
drinking
it's
simulator
still
for
a-
you.
I never called it that. But now that you mention it, I mean, I am a little thirsty.
So it's a tricky
Fucking God,
experience now.
No,
You said it, we
no,
drank.
It's still a social. God damn it.
Oh
It's
boy.
a social experiment gone wrong. It's still a social game, but between everything that has happened over the last couple of years since COVID, it's still a social experiment that's gone wrong to me.
Okay.
That's a new
And
one. A social
circuitry.
experiment gone
Have
wrong.
we swayed your idea of what VRchat is right now?
I think I'm starting to get a better understanding of what you want VRchat to be. As far as what it is right now, I mean, honestly, dude, I'm more disappointed in what VRchat is today than it was 6 years ago when I first started playing.
That is unfortunately a separate conversation.
I don't think is it better?
I will say, people 6 years ago considered VRchat more of a game than a social platform than they do now. Most people.
Well, that's
in
when
general,
I joined. That's when I joined.
Yeah, that's when I joined too. That's when most of us joined within a year or two of 6 years ago.
Months. Some of us months. I joined in August of 2018.
Ish.
Yeah,
And,
okay,
you know,
moving
at
on.
the time,
I just realized out of all of us, I've been in VRchat the longest.
You don't say. Weren't you there on pretty much opening day?
No, but it's fucking hilarious. One of the devs that no longer works for VRchat, he thought I was in VRchat in 2014, 2015 because of how well me and him knew each other and hung out all the time.
I mean,
That little tangent. So continue, Stealth. Stealth circuitry. You're both green.
yeah, it's not so easy,
I
is
did the
it?
same thing. Yes. I was the only one to do it this podcast. Not you.
I'm just saying
You're
it so I can
both-
drink on that experience.
I'll drink to that.
Would you? Would you at least to a point agree that VRchat is a social experience? And
Okay, so
let me say one thing before we continue there. I'm saying experience more so than a social platform because of what Stealth said. Yeah, VRchat is close to a social platform, but it's not exactly a social platform in the same sense that Twitter, Facebook, whatever are. It's a little
definitely
different.
missing some key elements.
But it's closer to a social platform than it is a game.
Right.
And that's why I put the word experience in there because, you know, if you're in VR or even if you're in desktop, you are experiencing different things, just like you experience different things in different worlds, different things, whatever. So, okay, with that, circuitry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, like I say, thinking about the term experience, I gotta take another drink because I said that because now I have to actually
Someone
embellish
in the
on
comments,
it
please
because
get a
now
spreadsheet
you're talking
together.
about God, that is good beer. You're talking about
Oh,
I'm not gonna say the word again because I don't want to drink, but you're talking about that word.
I'll
Um,
say it. Experience.
Fuck off.
I will
God
end
damn
you.
it. I'm holding true to my word. Chat, please be accurate with your count. If you want that $10,
As accurate as you
I'll,
can,
I'll even
anyway.
throw
I
10
wouldn't
on top
mind.
of it. We'll make it 20.
Okay,
Um,
so
So I'm
closest
thinking
Yeah, I'll
person
send
at
you
the end of the
everybody
video.
knows.
Yeah, we'll
Gets
send
20
them
bucks.
$20. I'll donate $10.
I'd pitch in, but I'm broke.
Of course,
Straight
we
up.
all are. But now, the way you put it is just like, all right, social platform with, like, I'm not drinking on this one. Fuck it. An experience like no other. That's what you're trying to. That's what you're trying to paint it as. I'm saying that it's at its core a video game, and if you want to go above the mantle, above the crust, and all that stuff, the surface level, it doesn't rise above anything other than a social interactive simulator. And when I say socially interactive, you are interacting with people socially, and it is a simulation because the person is not really there.
So is Discord a simulation?
I think it's more of a chat box.
Is Twitter a simulator?
Dude, there's a big difference
I'm
between
sure some
audio
wish
and
it
video.
was.
Turtle, you cannot. Please tell me you're not comparing audio and video in this. All right, there's a big
There's
difference
nothing
between
else to
listening
compare
to
it to.
You're listening to a track as opposed to watching a music video. There's a big difference between the two.
Is
blind
Minecraft
person
combined
can't-
with Discord a
A
simulator?
blind person, Stevie Wonder cannot find Waldo. Think about that.
What the fuck? Someone clip that, please. Someone clip that, please.
Please fucking clip that. That is great.
There is a big fucking difference. I'm sorry I had to go there, but
See,
I'm drinking on that one.
Oh, I wish I could. I'm out now.
Experience the unexperienced.
All right, I
Wonder
think
now finds
we'll
Waldo.
say we could actually save this for a part 3. I think
Hey, 7 o'clock.
I want to end on a good note. I think that's a
That
great
was
note to end
note to
on.
end on, Sir.
Yeah,
Tree
that's a
Day.
great note to end on. Let's just end there. We'll
So,
continue this in the
just
Nethers.
add-
Plug,
just-
just cut off the
Just
camera.
one little bit here. We're really gonna have to focus in on, is VRchat a simulator? That's gonna be
We'll
another
definitely
episode
have to.
soon.
We'll have to talk about context in that episode for sure. So
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
something to look
Date
forward
that
to,
out a
Beyond
couple
Pixels
weeks before we
viewers.
can-
You know what?
Ooh.
Circuitry, you want to make that next week's episode?
Please,
Sim-
no.
yeah.
We
Okay.
need a break.
No,
Absolutely.
no, no. Let's get a break in between.
Oh, and by the
okay?
way,
Let's give it a little to settle.
Well, in that case, we do not yet know what next week's episode is going to be. I'm going to take one real quick look. If someone wants to crack a joke or something, go for it.
Penis.
I'm going to see if I can come up with it.
I don't know. No one's
all
gonna
I
beat
can
my
think of-
joke.
Yeah,
I don't
all I can
think
think of right
anyone's-
now is Stevie Wonder finding Waldo somehow. It's just like fucking crying.
Imagine if it's like a braille book. He's got a fucking like colored like braille book. He's just like, where the fuck is this? I'm not gonna say the word.
Have we already? Refresh memory here. Have we already gone over VRchat addiction?
Oh,
sort of.
Like not substance use in VR, just VRchat itself.
You know, I think that would be a good thing to talk about next episode.
Okay.
People who spend
yeah,
8 to 12 hours at a time in this game, I think is
Exactly.
unhealthy.
Stop calling me out.
Hey, I only do it every now and then.
We'll call it the turtle episode.
Hey, I did it before. I'm a former addict. I'm reformed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
exactly.
we're-
we're reformed.
So next week we're going to talk about VRchat.
Only
Addiction.
VRchat addiction, drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
VRchat Anonymous.
Okay, so that's gonna wrap us up for today's episode of the Beyond Pixels podcast. Fuck you.
Also, Turtle, can I ask a question?
Fuck
Yeah,
it,
What
Chish,
the
I'll never
hell
forget.
is a vegan latte, and why does it exist?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that
And
up
who do I
earlier.
have
yeah, that's
kill.
a good question. What the fuck?
You would know,
Why
Turtle.
the fuck?
Well, South Texas will have to tell you. If he comes in VRchat, I'll bring him in here and he'll tell you.
Say it
Don't
when we're doing our
bring him
plugs.
in.
Anyway,
Say it when
I-
we're doing our plugs. I know
Anyway.
you're still there, South.
So.
Not that. Not
Thank you
that.
all for coming to episode 21. I still think it is extremely wild that we've been going this long.
It was an experience.
What?
Drink.
I need to be on
Anyway,
the road at
so-
midnight.
Anyway, so thank you all for
NMP,
being
not my
here
problem.
for the 21st episode. I believe most of you have been here basically since episode 1 and been here for basically every episode. You may have missed one or two here and there, but
Try my
I love you
damnedest.
guys always coming, hanging out, talking, get good conversation going. Thank you. We're going to do the thing we do at the end of every episode and let you give your plug. It better not be involving butts.
But
Wait, what? My kid's losing her shit. You may want to start from the other side of the sofa.
Okay. Circuitry, go for it. Plug your butt.
Like big butts. Nah.
Alright. You can find me all socials, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, Twitter. Like, I don't use Facebook or Instagram that much, but if you want to see me streaming, I'm live on Rumble. And I am soon going to be streaming there very, very soon. Very first episode coming up very, very soon. So get over to Rumble and there. If you see me on TikTok, it's not me. Fuck that website.
Okay. Vumpy.
You can find me
There's
on Twitch
suddenly
at
a puppy.
You can find me at Twitch at Sir_Bloodworth. Anyways, I do plan to be getting a new PC before I stream again, so it will still be at least 2, maybe 3 months, depending on how long it takes to get all the pieces together, put it together, and get it started up and everything onto it that I need, including Opera GX.
Hey.
Opera GX, please sponsor us.
Stop.
Fuck that. I want to
Go for it.
Yeah. Y'all can find me at twitch.tv/StealthTheFox, and I'm going to take a second to actually plug in Tabletop Mondays, because that's actually what I just streamed that last week. If y'all want to join us and you have Tabletop, go for it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, and for me, this has been episode 21 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. As I said before, this is every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. It's streamed live on my Twitch, Turtledoodle1, and then uploaded on YouTube the week after. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and comment down below. Try to tell us, try to guess, how many times did we say experience? Including that one right there. How many times?
This is where we cut off.
I'm
though.
drinking.
No more past this.
The closest person to it gets $20.
Yep. 10 from me, 10
And that'll
from
be
you.
that'll be decided during the episode after that. So
And that's just because everyone else here is
Gives you a
cheap
couple
bastards.
weeks.
I don't mind.
I paid
This
him
will solve it in
everything.
like 3 hours. Mark my words.
So, thank you all for coming. I'm gonna go ahead and get this over with.
Bye, chat.
Ooh, who we
Goodbye,
raiding
chat.
today? Bye,
Oh,
shit.
here we
Oh, wait,
go.
you're not talking to
Come
me. You're talking to your dog.
Is your sleep okay?